I was diagnosed with stage 3 hormone positive breast cancer at 33. I think for me, when I was told I had breast cancer, I had to have a double mastectomy. The most upsetting, worrying thing for me was that I want to go and have more children. And part of being a mother and having children is breastfeeding. And obviously if I had a double mastectomy, that option would be taken away from me. And that really upset me, and didn't feel I'd be the woman and mum I wanted to be. But after speaking to so many other kind of young girls and women who have gone through the same thing as me, it made me realise that that doesn't matter. We can still be a great mum. You know, we're still women, and whether we've got our breasts or not. And actually, you know, it's amazing the positivity and kind of you get, and it doesn't actually matter at all.
Yeah. Oh, that change is just so scary, isn't it?
Oh, it's
I was
very,
diagnosed at 34 with primary breast cancer at stage 3 as well. And yeah, unfortunately at the same time, just a few days later, my partner split up with me, and I ended up finding myself a day out of hospital from surgery, packing a bag and really having no choice but to find somewhere else to live for treatment. So on top of sort of all the fear of treatment and everything, I then was faced with going through it alone and relocating. And to be honest, I have learned so much about myself and the support that women can give to one another.
I was diagnosed with stage 3 hormone positive breast cancer. At that point I was living in Kenya, so my life was completely turned upside down. I had to come back to the UK. At that point I was taking my body, my health for granted, and after going through all the treatment that I've been through, I've worked so hard to be here in this life, and I just appreciate my body so much more, and I just try to make the most of it every single day.
So I was diagnosed when I was 35, but sadly it was in the same week that I'd lost my dad, who was completely separate, but he also passed away from cancer and had previously lost my gran within 2 years. So it's kind of like a rolling ball, basically, one thing into the next. So when I got my diagnosis, it was just that, okay, that's fine, let's just deal with that, and just basically went into that mentality and got on with it.
Yeah. And it's amazing how you actually then realise how you can cope. It sounds awful at the time, but you can just get through it. And there's so many people that you can speak to.
You can just feel so lonely, but equally
you can,
then suddenly you realise there are all these other people, you know, going through exactly the same thing, and you can, all taboos are like, there's nothing taboo.
You think you're like the only young person and you can't believe it. That's like, so many. Why is this happening? And then, you know, there's a lot of negative things out there, I think, on social media. But for me, you know, it was a great outlet. You know, it was, instead of kind of, I felt I burdened my family or friends if I kind of talked about it, or if I got upset, I didn't want to be a burden on anyone. But when you spoke to people going through it the same age as you on there, it just made you realise there's quite a few of you. It's a great community.
Definitely.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, my friends have been phenomenal. And you know, a lot of the girls I've known since age 4. They've just been, I couldn't have got through it without them. But at the same time, that community that you meet of, you know, young girls, women, it's just amazing. Like, you know, how much support you can get from people you don't know. And as you say, there's no subject that's off bounds.
No.
Everything is just able to
bodily functions, sex, relationships, you know, it could be anything, but you're, you know, you're just there to help each other through. Really.
I have to think it's funny when you look, for example, you look at this sofa and you see all of us looking, you know, I don't want to say it as in, you know, cocky way, but I think we all look amazing. You know, we've got lovely hair, we all look beautiful, but it's the constant stigma that you have of everyone thinking cancer, you need to kind of, you know, you've got no hair, or it's the older generation. I think you forget that there's a lot of younger people going through this.
You go through all your treatment, okay, when we all lost our hair and you're going through it, people are aware you look ill, you must be ill, and you get that kind of like, is everything okay, can I do anything? And you know, then treatment passes and you get to look, as you say, kind of normal and as you used to again. You do just need to rest sometimes, and some days I am exhausted and I can't work it out, and then after maybe a wee while I'm like, oh, well, that could be the reason. So you know, it's just, and you speak to the people who, like yourself, who are going through it too, and they get it. Whereas I think sometimes, you know, other people
Yeah,
Don't
and that maybe
quite
is the
kind of-
hard
yeah.
bit
Yeah.
because they, you know, they think, oh, you're through chemo.
you look great.
You're
yeah.
fine now, you look great, you're fine now, and actually the long-term impact, and actually
Mhm.
that was a kind of scary thing for me initially when I first realised. I kind of thought, right, surgery, chemo, get stuff out of the way and then that'll be me fine, and then I realised,
Mhm.
oh no, you're going to be on long-term treatment,
Absolutely.
which I'm lucky to have as a
Yeah.
preventative, but all the side effects that come with that, you know, it just changes life completely, doesn't it?
And I think when you're put into the medically induced menopause, people don't realise all the side effects that come with that.
No.
A lot of people just think menopause, hot flushes,
Yeah.
and I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
But estrogen is needed for so many things
Yeah.
in our bodies, like you mentioned, the
Mhm.
fatigue, the brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've all had
and
moments of
there's
that
an
today.
example of brain fog. All the other things that come
Yeah.
with that, affecting your bones.
Mhm.
I personally have found like my hair starting to thin as well, and I'm on targeted therapy too, which is something separate. So I'm also still immunocompromised because of that. So I'm still trying to work out what my new normal looks like, and that's okay.
Mhm.
It's exciting looking
Mhm.
forward, thinking about the future.